let's talk about Jimmy G, who may not be history. I mean, who knows? They're saying they want to keep him. They want him to compete, yada, yada, yada. Let's look at it from his perspective. Should he ask for a trade, assuming he hasn't already privately?
Am I starting with this one? I guess. Okay, should Jimmy Garoppolo ask for – if I were Jimmy Garoppolo personally, I would ask for a trade, but that's the kind of person that I am. And the way that I see Jimmy Garoppolo is he's just so cool, calm, and collected where he's not really a demanding person. I just don't really see him in that way. He has a lot to be upset about. You know, he suffered the ACL tear trying to fight for extra yardage. That's how he got hurt in 2018. And we all saw how someone awkwardly landed on him in the Jets game, and he tried to come back, and it didn't work out. So – you know, it's not like the injuries he suffered over the last couple of years, like Deebo Samuel, where it's his hamstrings constantly getting tight. He had severe injuries, and that's how I see it. So he has a lot to be upset about. And if he demanded a trade, I definitely would see where he's coming from. I don't know how anybody would be able to be like, what's he demanding a trade for? I think most people would see his reasoning for demanding a trade. But will he actually do it? I don't think so. I really don't think he will. I think he's going to be on the 49ers roster week 1 unless they get that first-round pick for him, which we'll get into soon.
Yeah, he should definitely ask for a trade. He should be demanding a trade if at all possible, because that's the only way he's going to keep his pay like he's making now. I don't think he's going to go somewhere else and make that kind of money. And who wants to stay somewhere where they're not really wanted? Who wants to stay somewhere where they know they're a short-timer and have to deal with that, especially with this situation? You know, he's gone after this year, really. So why would he want to stick around? So if I was Garoppolo, I definitely would ask for a trade. And then who knows? Maybe he did, because it didn't sound like he was happy when they gave him news of this thing going down.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to speculate a little bit here. I think Lynch and Shannon already told him, like, look, we're going to try to trade you ideally at first, ideally coming draft day. You know, because that would be the time to maybe maximize his value, even though he doesn't really have much to begin with. And then if he can't get traded after the draft, then I think at that point, you know, come mid-May, late May, that's when he needs to start demanding. And I think, like Nick's right, I don't think it's him to actually demand it. I think he's going to tell Don Yee, like, you tell him I want to demand a trade. He wouldn't personally himself come out that way. But considering the offseason where quarterbacks are being very vocal, I think he'd be like, screw it, I'm going to follow the trend. So I think that'd be one thing, that's something that they want to put forth. And I'm pretty sure they're telling him, look, you're probably going to be here or not. We just want to see if we can get from the Patriots or any other team on draft day, because I think that he is going to get he's going to get traded on either like day 2 or day 3, whichever one you want to pencil him in for. So I think he's not going to ask for one yet, but I could definitely see, like, if it doesn't get done by then, that he's going to be like, all right, I got to get out of here, man. This is not worth it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, everybody makes really good points. I think Jimmy G's team around him is terrible, because they have let his stock just drop year after year and let the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan and Lynch, like, just berate him without any pushback. And, you know, it's funny because you see in this specific offseason, the minute Carson Wentz saw his stock start dropping, he demanded a trade and got out of there. You know, we're seeing that in Seattle with Russell Wilson. He's feeling like his stock's starting to drop as far as where he's going to finish off with his legacy. And his team has come out and started putting those trade rumors out. That hasn't happened with Jimmy G. And for the last couple of years, Jimmy G's stock, like, the 49ers have flirted with more quarterbacks than any team in the league. And Jimmy G just stood there as, like, the X that's just, or like the future X that's just like, well, maybe they're going to love me. Maybe they're going to love me. And, like, he should have demanded a trade when they were trying to get after Tom Brady. You know, that's when he should be like, look, if you guys don't want me here, this is where my stock's the highest. I think now it's too little too late. Even if he demands a trade, it's not going to change who's going to want him. It's not going to make teams now go, oh, now he wants to trade. No, if they're going to trade for him, they're going to trade for him. I think it's well known that the 49ers are willing to trade. I think everything else is just a smokescreen. So why he might as well just sit in the corner like he's been sitting and just wait it out.
The difference between Wentz and Garoppolo is the Eagles really benched Wentz. They benched him. And the Niners are still playing this game where, like, no, he's still our starter. No, the kid's going to have to compete. We want Jimmy to play this year because Jimmy's the vet. I feel like the Niners are being very careful here, and they're putting Jimmy in a tough position. Would he like to request a trade? I'm sure he would love to request a trade. Would it look good for him to request a trade? This is a dude who's played 30 games for the Niners and pocketed $90 million. now. He wanted to play more. He just couldn't. The Niners stuck by him, gave him a lot of checks. And for him to be like, now I want to trade, I mean, people might look at him and be like, who are you to request? You're not Deshaun Watson. You're just a dude who got paid a lot of money and missed a lot of time. And you know what? Maybe you should go out there and compete. Maybe you should go out there and compete. And you know what? If you're as good as you think you are, Jimmy, beat him, man. I mean, you're going up against who? Mac Jones? I mean, is Mac Jones that much physically better than you, Jimmy? No. Mac Jones is just mentally better than you. Like, just, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a bad look. I think it's a bad look. I think he would love to request a trade, would want to request a trade, would benefit from a trade, but I think he needs to be quiet and show up to camp and compete. And if he loses, then they'll trade him. But what do they get from him at that point? You know, go out and win the competition. That would be a good move for him. I think that's a better move than leaving.
That's why post-draft, I think that's why he tries to demand it. And at that point, if he didn't get traded at the draft day, that means his stock is like really low. And it's like, if he demands it, then the 49ers essentially kind of have to. What are you going to do? You're going to keep the quarterback that demands a trade next to your rookie? That's not, you don't really want that locker room environment with this guy who's saying that. So at that point, it's like you have to ship him off. So I think it's a guarantee if he does demand a trade, like in May after the draft, he's not, then I think he's pretty much gone.